in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to What's the Dillies. Alright, for today's episode, we have ripping 603 Boogie Squad. We have ripping Projekt Team. Have you have ripping Korea?
Yeah. and New Zealand and Philippines.
Yeah, and New Zealand too. We have Projekt's favorite Asian. The best roaster in Projekt as well. Like, honestly, he is the best. We have today very special guest, my brother Sejoo.
Yay!
All right, thanks for joining us today, bro.
My pleasure.
All right, so how's your day today, bro?
Good, just busy working. Yeah, so just work, hustle life, you know.
Yeah. All right, so, bro, like the last time I actually came here was So like the last time I was here with Sejoo, we were actually stuck here for hours, right?
Yeah.
Because what happened was there was like a hit and run right outside.
Yeah.
Not right outside his house, but in his neighborhood. So it was me, Sejoo, and Cassidy.
Yeah.
We were stuck here for like 3 hours more than we should have.
We couldn't get out, eh?
Yeah. It was I don't know. It was okay. It was like a really good night though.
Yeah, we did a collab.
Oh yeah. Despite yeah.
And we had a dinner as well.
Yeah, that was a pretty nice dinner. Thanks, Sejoo, for cooking. Yeah, it was actually like a lot of it was unexpected, but it was actually a really nice night. Except for the guy that got hit and run, but
Yeah, it was pretty fun. But still, had a good night.
yeah. Same. All right, Sejoo. So originally, you're from Korea.
Yeah,
Right.
from Korea, South Korea.
So how was your transition from Korea to New Zealand?
It was good. It was just unexpected, I guess. I still remember when my dad I came home one night from studying and then came back to the house and he turned on the TV and then there was a lot of sheeps in the TV.
Sheeps.
Sheeps, the animal sheeps.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he was like, guess where we're going? And then my mom was like, we're going to New Zealand.
Wow.
And I didn't
How
expect
old were
it.
you when this happened?
I was like 14?
14.
13, 14, yeah. Like first year of high school. Yeah. And the next week I was already here. Yeah. My life is pretty like unexpected. When my family decides it, I just leave. Yeah.
So how's that? So what's the difference in living between like Korea and NZ?
Well,
Like what's the difference in the daily life and what have you noticed?
definitely New Zealand's more chill. Like in terms of dancing wise, like people get to dance, but in Korea, like before you're 18, you always study. Like study is like the main life. Yeah.
Is that just like a part of the culture?
Yeah, just study, get a good job, and go to a good university, and that's just how life works in Korea. Yeah.
Do you feel like you would have followed? Because when did you start dancing?
I started dancing.
Did you start when you came to NZ or was it even before that when you were in Korea?
No, I didn't touch dance. Like in my life, I would never ever imagine myself dancing.
Really?
Before I came to New Zealand. Yeah. Like never. Like I would just when I see people dancing on TV, I would always be like, "Oh, that's cool," but I would never imagine me dancing. Yeah. It's just because I was always kind of like a shy person, but like a music person. I just like singing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like guitar, or anything. Like I don't know. Like dancing just felt a bit far for me. But I always wanted to be just like the cool kid.
Yeah.
Just wanted to get attention, you know.
Yeah.
And then that's how I actually really started. Like just because it just looked cool. But I started around year 13. Yeah, year 12. I think end of year 12. I still remember. I had to just follow the footpath of like just the Korean students going to university and stuff. So I still remember going to university open day for Okan University, and I was walking home and I saw APC, just Okan Popping Community, just busking on the street. And then the first thing I thought was, wow, like that's cool.
Yeah.
But I can do that too. Like that's how I thought. This ego, cocky mindset.
But were you dancing before then at all?
No, nothing.
So bro, where did that ego come from?
I don't know.
Bro, that was random, bro.
I don't know. I just thought that like from that moment, like you know that moment when you're watching professional football, right?
Yeah.
and then this
Oh.
striker misses a shot in like a really close shot, and you're thinking like, how can he miss that? Like, he sucks. I can even do better than that.
Yeah.
Like, so that was the mindset.
Whoa.
So I was like looking at them.
So you saw APC and you're like, nah, you're trash. I can do that.
No, not
Oh.
trash. Not, I didn't say a trash, but
Yeah.
like this is, I had no dancing experience at
Yeah.
all,
Yeah.
and I was just a bit judgy. I was kind of
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I can do that.
You want to call out who you saw?
No, no, they're not dancing anymore. Like
Okay.
everyone's just gone.
Yeah.
But like I still remember just really weird mindset that I had, and then I actually went up to them, and then I went to their practice the week after, and I realized it wasn't that easy. You know,
Yeah.
like perspective of actually doing it,
Yeah.
and just seeing it outside is just whole different. Yeah. I guess so. Yeah, and after then, I just started dancing, I guess. Yeah, this is already like 8 years ago.
So that was year 12.
Year 12, finishing year 12, so year 13, yeah.
And like, so you know, when you were training, did you only train with APC or what else were you doing?
Well, I wouldn't say training. The thing is like, the only dancing I did properly in high school was after meeting APC,
Yeah.
I decided to take dance as a subject in school, Mount Roskill Grammar School. And that's kind of how it just shifted.
Yeah.
And like, I still remember like, I was just like a kid who really loved watching dancing,
Yeah.
like Brian Pispos,
Oh,
Ian
did you
Eastwood.
always watch those? guys?
Yeah, man, like
Whoa.
they're my inspiration. Like
No way.
the reason why kind of like my R&B lyrical is based on them, especially. Yeah.
That makes so much sense, bro.
Yeah, this is before my proper popping days were
Yeah.
just in anything really. Before I found myself, like that's who I used to just watch and stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously this is gonna sound really weird, but my inspiration was actually Mikey when I started.
Really?
Yeah. He like not much people know this, but we went to the same school,
Yeah.
and then like he was a dancing king of the school.
Really?
Right? Like,
Was he a dancing king? Holy.
he was like the
bro.
popular kid who danced, and then he was in the school newsletter. Like yeah, it was just everything, and then
Was he that good back then? No, it's just cause. No, was he that
no,
good?
I like back then. I just thought like yeah, he was still good,
Oh,
but the
yeah.
thing is, he was just like the one who did dancing, you know?
Okay, yeah.
And all the teachers loved him, and like he was going to worlds like
Yeah.
with I don't know what team.
TDA.
but- Yeah. And then it was just cool in my eyes, and just it was I guess after he left, I just wanted to really continue,
Yeah.
like which is pretty cool. Yeah, he left like an influence on Roscoe, which is pretty cool.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah,
the way you phrase it, he left the influence on Roscoe. Damn.
Yeah, he did. Like definitely, like to many people, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, so after year 12, right? When you really started learning how to pop and learning how to dance, like what happened then? Like how did you transition from there to where you are now? Like what happened in between those years?
Wow, that's a lot of things happened between these years. Well, the thing is, I always knew I was gonna dance for a long time. I don't know why. Even though I was really bad then, I was just a beginner.
Yeah, I feel the same. Yeah.
Like, even though people were talking like negatively about me, because of course, like I was not good then.
Yeah.
I just thought that I was just gonna do this for a long time. Like I don't know why. I just love dance of it. Like I used to go like just clubbing by myself. Like I still do sometimes, but just doing like gigs, just dancing on the street, and it's just all fun for me.
Yeah.
But like I think when I got really hungry was just I guess competitions. Like when there was battles back in the day, there was quite a lot of battles, and just competitions, shows, busking, ciphers. Like, I just wanted to be good like the dancers around me. So I started taking classes in Korea.
Yeah.
That really just changed everything. And when I saw their level
Yeah.
and what New Zealand level is, I just thought that like I was a special kid, you know. Not much people dances. And when I went to Korea, I met the dance scene in Korea, and I was just like the the rookie of the rookie, like the bottom of the bottom. Like I still remember the day when I thought I was really good already because I danced in New Zealand, and then I went to this winners dance school in Korea. It's like a famous dance school, and I did an entry test.
Yeah.
So there's this beginner, middle, and expert at the professional level, and so you do a test. And I was thinking like, oh yeah, I've danced for like a year or two now, and I'll be around beginner or medium. I thought that was my result in my head.
Yeah.
I did the test and I got put into the starter class. Not even the beginner, medium, expert. I put into the starter class, and that broke my ego away so hard. I think that was when I was like learning from the basics of the basics, just like bounce 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, like every day, like we would do this, and that really hurt my ego.
Yeah.
But when I did that for like 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
Whoa. Wait. So you went to Korea. How long were you in Korea for?
I think I visited when I was in school. I visited like every 2 years, like for holiday.
Oh.
Like every time I just went to holiday, like for 2 months, 3 months.
Okay,
I just like came and did it.
Yeah.
And there was times when I went as an exchange student. For like a year.
Yeah.
I went there too and just visited families and stuff. Like, I don't know why, but I spent more time dancing than visiting my family in Korea, which was definitely. It didn't really like feel much.
Yeah.
So when I did those basics, I didn't think I improved. But when it came to New Zealand, people started telling me that I changed, which then I was kind of, okay, the basics was really important.
Yeah.
Like, it's not what you see, it's not how you feel, but what others people see as well.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel like I'm good.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm dope. But in reality, you're not.
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes you feel like you didn't do well, but people say that, oh, boy, we're killing it, But I personally, how I rate myself is people close to me.
Yeah.
Like Daniel, like he's so straight up, like who always tells me how I did and stuff. Or even like they're just the OGs, I guess, like Zed, Rina. I just personally love feedback more.
Yeah.
And I always tend to take on what they say and try to improve from there. And I think that's the journey, like from then to where I am now, which is a mix of like ego, hurt, learning from the basics, going back and forth. Oh, this is what I need to improve on. Yeah, and then just 8 years of dancing just passed by like that.
Yeah, I like how you worded it before when you were saying that you just knew you were going to be dancing for a long time. Because I felt the same, right? Like, even though you start off and you're not that good, but you just have that feeling that like, oh, I can see myself doing this for ages,
I don't know why it was so important to me. The thing is, like, I had no talent at all. Like, looking back now, I don't know what got me through. But when I started, people like talked a lot of bad things about me.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Who, like, were they
well,
people at
just
your
being
school?
At school and being Korean and stuff, like the Korean community and stuff. Like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah. Also, just like, it's just when you get outside of that like usual route, like get a good job and stuff. It's just it shows us like you're just trying too hard, and like coming from like the Korean community is so small, and when you see me dancing on the street and stuff, it's not a good look. But also just my close friends, they were telling me like, what are you doing? Like, you're not that good, like just all those things, which is like, if it was the usual me, hearing those stuff would just be like, oh shit, like I don't want to do this anymore. Like, but I don't know why, like hearing those stuff just kind of motivated me more. Or even like, it didn't really affect me that much because I knew that I was going to do this for a long time. And that's when I really knew when other opinions didn't really affect me at all, that was really important. And yeah, that's how I knew I was going to dance for a long time. I just loved it so much.
So what was the difference between like dancing, because you said you went to Korea and you were training in Korea, what's the difference between their scene there and our scene here? Like besides skill wise, like what's the difference in culture and
Yeah. Firstly, the size is just so different. Size is just massive.
okay.
Like, just I think popping scene alone surpasses the whole New Zealand dance scene, except for
Whoa.
urban choreography.
That's crazy.
Yeah, just the whole styles combined just surpasses easily.
Is popping the most popular style in Korea or?
No, actually,
Hey.
b-boying is really. They're one of the best in the world.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course, you know, like or the urban like dance scene in Korea is definitely just huge in general. I would say the only scene that matches between New Zealand and Korea is the urban scene. Obviously, it's pretty popular, but I think the main difference is just the mindset as well.
Yeah.
Like people don't dance and work and dance, study and dance. It's when you dance, you're just a dancer. You just do that for a living. And when you study, you just study dance and you go to art school, and that's why their mindset's so focused. And I think that's the main difference. Like when you go in, that's you all already feel the energy that's their life. You know, when they train, they don't play around. They just look at the mirror and just train for hours and stuff. What really surprised me, I wanted to really talk about this. In Korea, there's a culture called midnight class and midnight practice.
Yeah.
So there was a class I went and learned from. They said it's 5-hour class.
Yeah.
Which improved you so much. And they said
Really?
12 to 5. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm keen. I want to do it. And I went. It's 12 a.m. till 5 a.m.
Yeah.
So it's just overnight, 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. And I was just like so surprised. Everyone's training, but I saw a middle school student there, like
Hey.
year 7, year 8.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, man. It's just
Do their parents support them?
yeah, I know. Yeah,
Really?
their parents support them doing it.
Wow.
It's so buzzy to me. Like this year 7. I still remember like that kid's still my motivation when I'm practicing.
Really?
Yeah, like he's just training 5 hours just by himself, like trying to improve, which is like just still my motivation to this day. Like that's how hungry they are, you know. And I guess I don't really feel that here in New Zealand. That's definitely one thing, but also just the community vibe and just the more creative vibe I feel more in New Zealand.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why. It just feels like in Korea they're kind of machines. They're so high level, but they look a bit similar. That's how I feel as well. Oh, they are both have pros and cons. Especially, I'm just talking about the street scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, just how I feel. It's the main difference between.
So what
Korea
does
and New
that
Zealand.
like 12 a.m. midnight training class consist of?
So I think from what I remember,
Was there also a reason why they hold it like specifically at 12 a.m. or is that
there is a reason.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, well, I asked this question to my teacher. Apparently, so when your body's tired,
Yeah.
when you're sleepy,
Yeah.
and when you want to give up, and when you squeeze that last minute,
Wow.
that's when you improve. That's what the teacher said. So around like from 12 to 2 a.m. is okay. I was like, oh yeah, this is fun. And when it goes 3 o'clock, you're sleepy. And I just remember like when I'm training pops, like, and at 3 a.m. and it's like when my pops are getting weaker, my teacher would slap my back and wake up. Yeah, like that's how it is. And I do definitely feel that. Like when you want to give up and it's so sleepy, when you're just dying, when you squeeze it in, that's when you improve. It sounds stupid.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah, it does, but like it's just such like a barbaric way of training.
Yeah.
You know, and then just doing that for I think I just did that for like a month or two. Like I think not more than 2 months. And that just changed my whole dance a little bit. Yeah. And I still remember those days. I don't train like that anymore. But when I was learning, yeah, it just made more sense. Yeah. And people just practice in those times too, 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. So, and I was like, why do you prefer to practice in these times? And when you ask these people, they're like, oh, I can focus more.
Wow, that's such a bizarre concept.
It is, yeah.
Cause like you feel it too, right? Like when you're super tired, that's usually when you're This is what Ray says at your practice, right? When you're super tired, like that's when your best rounds come out.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I
yeah,
agree.
I can feel it. I can feel that too, because when you're super tired and you still push that extra mile, you feel that growth come the next day or the next few days.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely feel that. And in terms of battles as well and practices, yeah, I just don't know what it is. It's just that special energy, like when you focus and when you want to push. It's just in everything really. Like when you want to give up. I saw this comment where like when you want to give up,
Yeah.
you only at your 40%. Like
Really.
yeah, that's what I saw, and it's kind of true a little bit. But yeah, that's how they train, which is crazy.
So cycling back, you said that your dance changed. How did it change from where it was to where it is now? Because I think I was there and I saw it a bit, but like from your perspective, like what do you think is the main difference?
What? How do you think my dance changed? Let me ask you that first.
You're listening to music a lot better. I
Oh.
think that's what, like, before you were like, I think looking at it now, seeing how you are now, before back then I thought that like you're bad,
Oh, yeah.
but like
Totally.
now how you listen to music and how you like show it, it improved so much, and I think that was the biggest difference for me, what I saw.
I guess everything's right. Like people like my musicality and like people like how I show it. But I think main difference between my dance before and now is just I think less and I focus on the music obviously, but it sounds easy, but it's really really hard. Like there's a lot of things to think about, like to do cool moves, to do eye pleasing moves. Actually dancing in front of a crowd is really hard. And just fighting your mental, I guess. Like when you're comfortable with your dance, you don't really think more. Like I remember like when I used to dance before, I would always think about the next move or what looks cool, and this is the move I practiced like 2 weeks ago. Like I need to work that. That's when I practice and jam.
Yeah.
But when I dance, I'm really free and I just react to the music. I guess that's the only way I can see it. Like I had to train a lot of foundations and all these things, obviously.
Yeah.
But to get to that comfortableness of dancing, I think that's why that's the most change I felt before and now. Yeah.
But do you reckon if you didn't do popping, you'd like, well, what would be the next style after? Because when I think of you, I purely think about popping. Yeah, when I think about you. I mean,
People say that now.
but then what would Sejoo do about popping? Yeah, what do you think you would do? What would be the
I
next
already
style
know
for
what
you?
I'm gonna do.
Really? What?
Yeah. It's not street style. I don't think I would pick up street style. Like I
What's
think
street style?
street style means like popping, whacking, crumping,
Yeah.
locking, like funk styles, or just like I think what I would do is like slow jam R&B choreography. Yeah, probably.
Yo.
I always think that like
Yeah.
I think if I didn't do popping, that's what I would do. Like just 100%.
For low key, I thought you were gonna say breaking for some reason.
No,
I think it's because ever since you started putting in top rocks into your pops a little bit, I'm like, yeah, I could see it. Like, I could see it a bit, you know.
Yeah, of course. It's just more so. I just wanted to add some flavor of my dancing, but obviously it's Daniel's influence as well.
Yeah.
Like jamming with him, and it's just, we influence each other, and also just I wanted to make my moves more dynamic.
Yeah.
And yeah, but mostly just know that I think I would have done slow jam if I didn't pick up popping.
Bro, can you imagine yourself in Prestige or something?
Yeah, actually, I think
That's so hard for me, bro. Like
I know you it's hard to imagine now.
Yeah.
But like I think if I didn't pick up popping, I would like audition for those kind of crews, I guess. Yeah. Which is it's pretty funny.
Alright, Sej. So so me and Sejoo are in the same collective. We're in Projekt Team, but Sejoo is also in 603 Boogie Squad.
Yeah.
He's in there with one of our last guests as well. His name was Daniel.
Yep.
So what's the difference between 603 and Projekt?
Oh, you're really gonna go
not
there.
in terms of like just dance, but like what role they've played in
My
maybe
life.
your life and how they've kept you inspired in dance. Like what are
That's a
the
good
different
one.
roles and like yeah.
First of all, I would really want to say this, that my dance and my life,
Yeah.
I would be nowhere without these two crews. Like, it's just, they left a huge mark on my life.
Yeah.
Like, can't really say much as, well, just going back to a little bit of years, like, I joined Projekt first.
Yeah.
Like, when I was just still learning about dance.
How many years ago was that, bro?
This is when I met Josh, Mele,
Yeah.
and Renee back in Hopscotch Mega Crew days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a compilation of your old battles when I thought you battled Sheldon. Do you remember that
But
one?
this was ages ago as
Oh, yeah,
well.
before
Before
that.
then,
Whoa.
yeah. It's just, there's a winning set. There's a winning set by fingers.
Yeah.
I met Sheldon, Benny, like Antonio. I don't remember much, but I do remember auditioning for Hopscotch Mega Crew in front of Mele, Renee, and Josh, and Seda as well. Yeah.
What made
first
you
met
want to
them.
audition?
I don't know. This was when I was year 12, 13. Yeah.
So this was fresh after you made APC.
Yeah.
Oh,
Year
damn.
13.
Fuck, you were just
wanted to
inspired
dance.
then, eh?
Yeah, I don't know why. I think I just wanted to be cool. That's what it is. Just to be honest with you, like I was just like such a try-hard attention seeker in high school, and I just thought being in a crew, and hopscotch was really big then, and that would just make me look cooler, I guess.
Yeah.
But also like there was obviously like the hint of like me liking the dance so much, and I joined it. But yeah, and through that, I met Josh and them. And when Josh created Projekt Team, he asked me to join, and that's how I got into it. But like, for me, Projekt Team didn't really just affect my dance. They were kind of like my family who took me in as like really like a family who like the reason I'm living here is because of Projekt Team.
Yeah.
The reason I get to stay here in New Zealand after, who provided me a space to live till I get a job, or just through Mele as well. And although like mental support that I've got, someone who I can talk to is Projekt Team, because I'm international, you know. I don't really know, and just all this like all my best memories in New Zealand has been in Projekt Team, and like the reason I want to stay in dancing is, you know, just to be with the fam, which is really important. And yeah, so that's what Projekt Team played in my life. 603 is just whole different. Like, we're kind of like a brotherhood where we don't really meet up as much, but when we jam, it's pretty like, it's just really different. It's mainly because we don't get together as much as Projekt Team, but I guess definitely being with Daniel in the same crew.
Yeah.
But also I think mostly what 603 played in my life is because Zed's definitely a huge inspiration in terms of the dance, and Rena, who is the partner of Zed, always saw potential in me and Daniel, and she just grew us into a next level, like providing us with like with really constructive feedbacks as well, and also providing us with like amazing stage opportunities, which is just like, looking back at it now, like I can't really thank her enough, because it really was just an experience of a lifetime, and I don't think without being in 603 I wouldn't get those opportunities. But also like Zed is definitely such like a different person in my life in terms of my popping dance, actually. Like he's like the person who taught me to dance, or told me to dance rather than do popping. It sounds really weird, but like, because I used to be such a stiff, stick to foundation, just 1 and 2 kind of guy, and then I wasn't really free, and Zed would always give me constructive feedbacks about it. And I think those two just combined, 623 and Projekt Team just combined, and this is what I am now, I guess.
How did you end up with 603 though?
Oh, so 623, Zed just asked me. Yeah.
Were you already jamming with Zed before, or how did you know him before that?
Well, I already knew him back in APC days, but we weren't that close.
Oh, was Zed? Oh, I honestly know nothing about Zed, man.
Yeah, well, Zed like definitely was in the scene, like
Yeah.
in the popping scene. He came and go. He did workshops in here and there, but he was already like a successful dancer then, like in the street scene, and like he was up there, and I was just like the starting baby. So I did know of him,
Yeah.
but like I think the proper time he asked me to jam was I think I still remember. I think it's I don't remember. There was a battle event at City Dance back in the day, and I just came back from Korea, and then there's a like a big event, and it was a prelim, and I did a preliminary round. I didn't get through, but I posted it online, and Zed was like, "Oh, you did really good. Like I thought you should have made prelims and stuff." That's the first time he talked to me. I remember, and yeah, ever since then we just kept talking about it because he saw that I learned proper popping in Korea, and then ever since that match, then I think he just kept seeing me grow, and then at the right time he told me he did want to be part of 603. Yeah, that's how it happened.
Was he? Shout out to 603
And Projekt Team.
and Projekt Team. Alright, bro. Let's cycle forward now. So there was a period in time when you're like killing in battles. The Vulcan Lane popping battles happened like every week, did it?
Every month, I think.
Every month. And I remember Sejoo was doing like just rounds where he was sweeping everybody. And that was
Sweeping everybody?
Yeah, I reckon you were. Did you?
I wouldn't say so, but yeah.
Yeah, and then even some all-style battles too, you're doing pretty well. So what's your mentality when you go into a battle?
Ooh. Like these days or before?
Let's go both. So we'll do these days and when you're in your like super hungry, like I wanna beat everybody phase. Because there was a period when like you'd see Sejoo and you could see it on his face, bro. He was this hungry ass Asian dude, bro.
First battles, I can't put it into words, but I guess I don't have any like mindset going to a battle, but like my brain just switches when I'm in battle. I don't know why. But I think mainly everyone's goal is to win. You know, like just like I've watched Daniel's interview before this episode. Like everyone's selfish. Like everyone wants to win. Everyone wants to do well. Everyone wants to seek attention. I feel the same way, and that always goes in. But I think the mindset comes more so to when I battle is kind of like, this is my thing. Like, you're not gonna touch it. Like, that's kind of like the mindset I go into a battle.
What do you mean?
What I mean by that is kind of like popping and freestyle and just all-style battle. Like, I've done this for a bit of time.
Yeah.
And when someone tries to battle me, it's kind of like, I'm better than you. And you're not going to take this away from me because this is my thing.
Yeah.
Like, this is my mindset before.
No,
like,
all good.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. And it's just like, I'm so aggressive. Like, yeah, I think that's just my mindset. Like, rather than my focus is to win.
Yeah.
When the opponent comes, I'm like, yeah, you're not gonna take this from me. Like, I think that's how it just went into winning because I was so focused on the one-on-one battle situation.
Yeah.
Like when this guy comes in, obviously I don't have personal anger to this kind of person, but it kind of shows in battles. It's because of the fact that like rather than I hate you, this stage and this dance and this thing you're doing is mine. I'm better than you, and then that mindset just kind of went overboard.
Yeah.
And then every battle, it's kind of like, oh, I'm better than you. Like this mine, and then it just led to winning.
Yeah.
But that's a toxic mindset to have.
But okay, so I gotta ask, right? Because like, it's all good. I mean, it's a winner mindset.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
So what about the times when you're battling people that like that are actually like good, like maybe happy feet or like
That
some people
can,
that
like, battle can before as well.
did you still think the same way? Like I'm better than you. And,
Um,
how's your mindset going to those battles? Because I can understand for like maybe newer battles or even like intermediate, you could still have that mindset. But like for people that are on the same level as you, bro, how did you feel?
I also have to admit that like I don't always win, like everyone else. Like I've lost to good people, I've won against good people, and I've won against people whose dance is better than me. It's just, but I think in terms of battle wise, first of all, I need to say that it's in the moment. Anything can happen. Like whether you're an experienced dancer or not, whether that opponent is just a medium battler, anything can happen. Music, stage, move, luck. But like obviously that experience definitely like plays a big part. But when I battle someone who's really experienced and who's really good, I still have the same mindset.
Hey.
Yeah. It's just the thing is like I just think about the things that I'm better than them. Let's say like that person is really good, but they can't be a perfect dancer. You know, like I know I can only say a few dancers in New Zealand that who's really like, I can't say much about that person because they work too hard and they're nearly like a really complete dancer, but no one's complete. Like majority of New Zealand battlers is not complete. I'm not complete. Like everyone else isn't. So I just look at them and then think like, okay, this is what you lack.
Yeah.
I'm better than you in this. And that's the mindset I go in. Like, I never really think like, but also there's times I'm definitely scared or even just like, but that's those times that I think too much. Like when I'm scared, I don't get scared. Oh my God, I'm battling them. But when I get scared or like feel intimidated, I start to think like, okay, what are the cool moves that I can do? What are the burns that I can do? Or like, what are the like, I don't know, it's just really complicated. Like my mind gets really complicated and then those are the moments when I do really badly. Yeah.
Alright. So what's your mindset for going to battles nowadays?
Yeah. Nowadays. That's a good question. I'm more grateful to be able to battle. That's just how. And my mindset is to prove that I'm still here. That's just still my mindset about battling these days. It's just because like, first of all, like I don't put much time in dance these days in my life compared to like what you said, like when I was winning like 2 or 3 years ago, where I'll just dance at least 3 or 4 times a week. But these days, like I dance like once a week, like if I'm lucky twice a week, like just because of life in general. And I would be ignorant if I still wanted to win, but I'm not putting the same effort as other people do. Like, obviously, like I'm on a certain level where like they're like non-experienced dancers wouldn't just practice like 7 days a week and then they'll just reach it. But to all those experienced battlers, like when I go, or even just big dance events, I don't go into the mindset that I'm better than you now, or like I just wanted to just. I would be lying if I say I'm just going there to have fun. But I have the mindset to just still stay relevant in the scene. So I don't train hard to win. I just still train enough to be like, oh yeah, he's still here in the scene. Like that's the mindset I go, and just feel really grateful. Like more so these days, like having battle events is just really special for me. Like being able to dance in front of a crowd, in front of a DJ, during just coronavirus and everything. It's just really like grateful to me. And these days, I try to make all the events as much as I can. And every time there's a battle, I just try to just stay relevant. And when that results to win, I'm happy. But sometimes it doesn't. Like, and if I lose, I'm still happy because I don't really just have the goal to win. And I feel more free these days, which is pretty good. Yeah.
What do you think? So what do you think is a healthy Because before you were saying it was a toxic mindset, right?
It is definitely toxic.
So
Yeah,
what do you think is a more healthier mindset to come into battling with?
healthier mindset?
Yeah, or at least like
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can definitely sense that. Like I asked this question to a popular dancer called Popping J.
yeah,
He's just a really famous dancer. I think I've asked this to him in dinner once. I think the healthy mindset is to battle yourself. That's just the 100% one. Like you write the things that you want to work on
yeah,
to show in battles, and just like crushing that goal in that event is the healthiest mindset. Like I'll give you an example of like not looking down in the ground. I don't want to look down to the ground in this prelims.
yeah.
I want to hit this move that I practiced weeks ago in the prelims. Like I want, like just that's the healthiest mindset, you know. Like when you battle yourself, when you set a goal for yourself and then try to hit that one by one, eventually you want bigger goals. But like when obviously your goal is for your own self improvement, that's the healthiest mindset ever. Yeah, but we're humans and that's not easy.
Yeah.
Like when you win or when people praise you or just get inspired, you want to win. And it's just like a hard, difficult mindset to have. But to answer your question about the healthiest mindset, yeah, that's the answer. Yeah.
That's so true though, because I feel like every time, maybe from my own experience, every time I've lost a battle or every time I've like not made it through a prelim, it's always because I get into my own head.
Yeah. it's always about the mental thing. Like honestly, like
Even you saw it too in the last battle. You're judging me versus Mano. Like you saw that I lost it. Like and it sucked too because afterwards when you said it was even, I was like, bro, was it really?
Yeah, it was.
Like,
it
I
was,
couldn't
it
even
was
tell,
definitely
bro.
even. Yeah, it was even. I think I was more on your side a little bit, but it's just when you gave up
Yeah.
on the middle, or even because you're thinking too much. Like you know what? Like honestly, people can see it. Like
Yeah.
people can see me. People can see others when you think too much.
Yeah.
Or when you're like, when you feel like you kicked around and you just like kick it and stuff, like you think it's not obvious but it is. And like I think good dancers, like all the experienced dancers that I know, like who's on the top of the game, really knows how to hide those mistakes or hide those like mental strength. Like the one person that I can really say is Ken. Like you don't know what he's thinking when he battles, man. I swear, such a like a hard person to crack. And yeah, sometimes like even Mikey, even Connor, just like all these like top games that I can see, all the freestylers that I know, it's just really like it's hard to get inside their head. And I think as a dancer, especially on those pressured moments when you know how to control your own head and not allow other thoughts get inside your head, that's one of the qualities to be a better dancer. So
So to be a better dancer, do you think that you need to battle to be a better dancer?
No, 100% no. I say this now, 100% no. Dance is always an art for me. Like even just the idea of judging someone that, oh, this guy's a better dancer, you win, I don't really like that idea. Like no one's supposed to judge someone's art form. Like I really don't agree on that, especially in terms of all style battle as well. Like because of the event size and how the dance criteria is in New Zealand, we have all style events. But like I still don't really feel good about popping and breaking, battling, and you're better, or even like locking. Or, for me, it's just like, you know, those time moments when you're like, oh, they're both so good. How can you judge? It's just because they're just too different. But also like, I know so many great, amazing dancers who's in the choreo scene who tries to battle, who doesn't make it that far, but they're so amazing, you know, like in terms of dance wise. Some people are good battlers, some people are good dancers. It's just I see it as a total different thing. Like just because you're a good battler doesn't mean that you're a good dancer as well. Like it just goes both ways. Like I really just wanna make that clear. That's just my opinion, but like battling, some people are better performers, some people are better battlers, some people are better like club dancers or like busking people. Like everyone has their traits, and battle is just one of them. Like, I always, I solely believe in the fact that like, everyone's good at something,
Yeah.
and if you want to try it, that's perfectly fine. But it's always at the end of the day, it's an art. Like I definitely believe that it's an art rather than a sport for me. Yeah.
Dope.
You like that, eh?
Yeah, nah, 'cause
That was
this is the question that I think about too, right? Because I'm always like, because I look at how battling kind of affected my dancing, and I feel like it superseded my like growth.
What do you mean by that?
Like I feel like I grew a lot more in my battles than I did in choreo.
Yeah, I
like,
can see that too.
ever.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because like the amount of growth you experience on pressure, and the like, you learn a lot. Like, and you just feel like way more confident. I feel like I could take 10 choreography classes and I could do mean in every choreography class, right? And I could feel like, yo, I was killing it. Everybody can say that I'm killing it. But if I did like mean in one battle, like even though it was just one battle, it
That feels really good, eh?
it lasted maybe like 45 seconds.
Yeah.
But just to know that I tested myself and that like it ended up working out.
Just
for me.
even passing prelims there, it
Yeah.
feels really good. Yeah, same.
And it gives you like a whole like kind of confidence that you just it's hard to explain, bro. I just felt like way more confident in myself, and then I had a mentality where I was like, bro, I feel like you need to battle, like even though I know that you don't have to, and like it's not suited for everybody. I just feel like that environment just like you just learn heaps. I'm so grateful for like just trying because that environment's taught me so much.
I guess so. I think also, I don't know if that's the direction you're going for, but like, you know how you said the choreography, you're doing 10 choreography class and the amount of like just even doing well in a battle is different.
Yeah.
It's just, I think, from my opinion, I definitely feel it's because of the freedom. And when you do battling and when you do well in that means you're just doing you. Like, in choreography, you're learning your choreography.
Okay.
And you feel more appreciated, I think, when you're just being you and then you do well, which is everyone's like taste, you know. But I also definitely think that like battles are not necessary, but dancing for yourself is necessary. Like that's just, I always dance for myself as well. Just put on a speaker, just taking the time to just dance alone and without restriction of movement. Like that's really necessary. Like that's what I mean by battles are not necessary, but like just dancing for yourself and just enjoying the music and just actually loving dancing. It's definitely like an essential factor to be a great dancer. Yeah, that's just how I see it. Yeah.
Alright, last question.
Oh yeah, sure.
Last question.
Last question.
So, yeah, we'll make this last question for you.
Oh sure.
Who in APC do you dislike the most?
Oh!
No, that's fucked up. That's fucked up, though. That's fucked up. Okay. So this is my last question.
Doesn't say that. She's too good.
This one's Seda. She's got demonic pops. Okay, if you could say to someone that was in your position, right? Like not now, but like maybe when you're in your early, when you started, right?
Yeah.
When you started. What advice would you give them in terms of, let's say, one for growth? Oh, we'll start with growth first. Because I feel like you're at a point where you're like pretty high level, and at least in here,
Okay.
at least in NZ. I don't know if you would agree, but I'd say so from my perspective.
Thank you.
Yeah. But what advice would you give them for growth and like training and
Growth and training.
because I think a lot of people would like to get to where you are. I'd say so.
Oh, that's a hard question. I think the advice I would give to dancers who seeks growth is look at your dance critically of where you're at now, and then go from there. Like, and also set the goal that you want to be, because like it's so easy when you're starting to just be content of where you are, and you just feel good at a certain level, just getting praise for like from friends and stuff, and also just like I don't know, like I don't know if just something that I deal with, but like, when I started, like I just felt special for doing or being able to dance, and I never really seeked growth. But like if I've learned that if I wanted to grow, I had to swallow my pride, swallow my ego, and then actually look at my dance and criticize it. Because like, is it only me, but do you like seeing your own dance, like when you film and just like
sometimes.
Yeah,
Like,
sometimes.
if I've really felt the song, or if I felt like I killed it,
Yeah.
then yeah, for sure. But I think it depends what mindset I'm in. If I'm jamming, then yeah. But if I'm training, then it's different. Because if I'm training with like maybe you guys, or like with other people, like there's a different mindset where it's like, okay, like I need to get better. Like I can't be staying at the same level if these guys are upgrading. Like something needs to change. But if I'm just jamming, that's like a whole new, like, you know, you're just doing it for you. So sometimes you're just happy like with, you know, what you see.
Yeah, I think like definitely is another factor that I would say is just never give up is one thing, but also not be influenced by dope dancers around you. Because yeah, it's
Influenced how?
what I mean by that is like sometimes it's so easy to just see, oh my god, he's so good, and also like you have to understand that they've put hours of hard work to get to where they are now. But when you're starting, it's just it's so easy to be influenced by like, oh, like I want to get to that, I want to look like that, like, and you film your video and then you see the video, it doesn't look like that, and it's so easy to get discouraged. But never ever feel discouraged. Like always continue, always grind, and always just like train to where you want to be. Because like if you start comparing yourself with, it sounds cliche, but when you start comparing yourself with people who danced a long time, it's hard to seek growth. It's always good to see yourself and seek criticism, seek feedback, and then just start where you're at, rather than you're just going to advance and like seeking major improvements in like, because you don't improve, there's no magic formula, like there's no shortcuts. I always believe in that. So I think just continuous training and the mindset to not be discouraged and just keep dancing. That's just the only advice I would say.
And a lot of the time I feel like when you're comparing yourselves to those dancers, where you started, you actually might be better than them.
Yeah, I know, of course.
But
like,
the difference is that they just held on and they kept going. I feel like that's the biggest difference, because
obviously like it's an art, right?
Yeah.
And dancing, there's gonna be people already naturally talented, you know?
True.
I just like, there's naturally talented. The only way to beat that is hard work, but also like there's people who is not as talented but who's fortunate enough to get good teachers, who's trained them from the beginning, or who has more resources to go overseas. And like everyone's on a different journey. Like but like if you start comparing with them, it's not gonna go anywhere. Like you just have to solely believe that hard work is the only way. Because if you train, you are gonna improve.
Definitely.
Some people, beginners, don't train. That's their especially in freestyle. That's the main problem I wanted to say, is that like practicing and jamming is really different. I told you this again, but like I go to studio sometimes, like people just cypher, and then they're just, oh yeah, it was just fun, and then just do muck around battles, and then just play their song that they like and just kill in front of their friends. And that's some people call that freestyle practice. Like, but I see it totally different. That's having fun and jamming. But when you're practicing and training, you just work on the things that you don't know and lab and really like sharpen what you already know it's supposed to be boring. Like, practice is supposed to be boring.
Yeah.
But I think most of the beginner freestylers, or even just people who wants to get better, always just has fun, and it's always a good balance. And if you really want to improve, like, training and jamming should be both.
Crack up.
Yeah.
What I like the most about like how we both pick dance and how we explain it is like if you sing, right, if you have a bad voice, you're kind of stuffed.
Oh yeah.
But like with dancing, if you're bad at it, you can still train hard enough to where you're good at it.
Of course, man. That's like, I'm the proof, man.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, like, I never was naturally talented. Still don't think I
But
am.
the thing is, bro, like people nowadays, like they wouldn't know that, bro. Like they'd see where you're.
I know,
where you're
no.
at
People
now.
would know. Like, people who stayed, like
True.
who met me, like from day one, they would know that. Like Daniel would know that. Like, Zed, there's so many people. Like, even just the project, they're proud of me where I'm at now. But like, you just know who's naturally talented and who's not. Like, I know that younger generations now, they look at me and that, oh yeah, like, it's really good. But like, I try to stay humble as much as possible, but also like, just to the people that saw me grow, I'm grateful. But everyone starts somewhere, man. Like, the master is always just like someone who really started from the beginner, you know. And I have my goals and they have theirs too. It's just always just important to know that like everyone started somewhere, which is really good. And also just the social media effect. That's what I want to say is that in dance, especially on social media, people only post their highlights.
Yeah.
Like,
No one's gonna post a training video.
or even just the rounds that they suck.
Yeah.
Like, I'm guilty of that. Like, I don't really post the things that I don't like, and that's the thing. Like, the only way you're going to improve is just by seeing yourself. Like, in social media, you look at, oh, he's so good. It's never that. Probably the chances are he filmed 10 rounds, 20 rounds, and it's like, oh, like one, and you post that one. You know, like, but yeah, it's just so useless to really compare yourself. I keep saying this because I'm guilty of comparing myself, but I think when I started, I was impatient. I wanted to reach a high level quicker, and I was jealous and ego, just all this negative like mindset. But I think once you start to tackle those negative emotions one by one, that's when you get better. I can't explain it, but that's the only way. And it's always good to have good mentors as well. Yeah.
Alright, Sejoo. Just last question for you today.
Yeah,
okay?
sure. That's the last.
Yeah, this is the last.
Okay.
And I'll let you get to training. Alright. So the last question for you today is 5 years from now, I want to show you this episode.
Oh my god.
So I want you to tell, like, what do you hope for the Sejoo 5 years from now? Or what do you want to say to the Sejoo 5 years from now?
In life?
Yeah. Oh, anything, bro.
Ooh, 5 years from now.
Yeah.
5 years from now. Ooh. I think 5 years from now, a lot of things are gonna change, and I think there's gonna be a chance that like I would lose the love of dance, because I think 5 years from now I'll be really focused on,
Life.
financial stuff. I'm always kind of losing that already, but like I just want to tell him to show you this video that how much you love dance, and if you did lose it after 5 years, just the passion of it, I want you to see this video and then go back to it because you really loved it. And money, job, or even just everything that life offers you, you didn't get there without dance. So yeah, I want you to come back to it.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. All right. That concludes us for today's episode, guys. Thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you next time.